Hi, I'm Jennifer Auerbach, founder of the Bocal Majority Organization. In this video, I'm going to talk about how we staff our summer camps with instructors, and I'll address some other common questions about what it's like to teach at our camps as well. First, here's a brief history of the educational side of our organization. The history of Bocal Majority dates back to 2005, when I gathered my friends together to teach a bassoon reed-making camp in a suburb of Dallas. Band directors, teachers, parents, and students loved the idea and encouraged us to add chamber music and special topics. In 2008, I met Sally Bowles and asked her to take on the development of the oboe division. In 2009, we started offering programming for oboe at our camps as well. We started with one camp location in 2005, we had 5 locations in 2009, and by 2019 we held 28 unique events throughout the summer, including 19 big kid camps. That's the typical reed-making chamber music camp that people associate with us. In 2024, we will have 13 events, including 9 big kid camps. It's a nice balance and provides for the camps to be in a variety of locations, while at the same time not spreading ourselves too thin, with the goal being that each camp has enough students in it to make it a fun and worthwhile event for everyone. Our mission has always been to provide high-level information in a positive and uplifting environment. That mission transcends all camps, locations, and divisions. To quote Sally Bowles, "We love what we do, and the best way we can think of to make sure it continues is to help the next generation love it as much as we do." Of course, there's a lot more to know about Bocal Majority, but that gives you an idea of how our camp started and an insight into the educational side of Bocal Majority, which I call the heart of our organization. Now I'm going to talk about the different locations, and more specifically, how instructors know if they're teaching at a given location or not. The Bocal Majority summer camps take place at a variety of locations all over the state of Texas and beyond. The instructors at our camps are typically private lesson instructors and music educators who specialize in oboe and/or bassoon as their primary instrument. Our classes are kept small at approximately an 8-to-1 ratio or less. We typically engage over 100 instructors any given summer. Our camps have different levels or divisions. This summer we have our ADRIT division and our regular division. ADRIT, or Advanced Double Reed Institute of Texas, takes place at select locations only. Our ADRIT instructors are engaged and confirmed in the fall. They're usually top symphony players and/or college professors. Most of the time, the students in the ADRIT division are made up of advanced high school level students who are often all-state or area level players and who have a strong interest in playing their instrument at a high level. In our regular division, open to anyone, the staffing works a little differently. Since we're focused on that student-to-teacher ratio, since enrollment varies from year to year, and since our instructors' availability also changes from year to year, we don't always know what the intersection will be between our staffing needs and the needs of our staff, as early as we do for the ADRIT program. For most of our locations, we therefore initially request instructors' availability and interest, with the explanation that we will be confirming each engagement later on, typically after our May 15th on-time enrollment deadline. Once we get to the on-time enrollment deadline, May 15th, approximately 80% of our student enrollment for the summer will have taken place, allowing us to have a clearer picture of our staffing needs. We therefore typically email those confirmations for staffing on or after May 16th. There are some exceptions to this, which include locations that are either harder to staff or that have some sort of specific predefined need. Those locations could include Virginia, Sci-Fair, RGB, and our beginner camp, which is completely separate from most of the other camps, and it takes place much later in the summer. Additionally, we engage camp interns, site managers, and store managers, and those folks are engaged much earlier in the planning process as well. So how will you know if you're for sure teaching at a given location? The first step is to fill out our independent contractor form. At some point after that, we'll send an email that looks like this and has the verbiage, "This is your official confirmation letter and invitation to teach at the Bocal Majority camp listed below." Upon receiving that confirmation email, you'll need to email us back to confirm on your end. But what if your plans have changed and you're not available when we email you the confirmation? That's okay. From time to time, when you filled out the form, and then between that time and when we confirm you, we understand that you're not holding those dates for us. It's helpful for us to know, and so if you'll let us know before that of any changes, that would be helpful. However, in absence of that, we ask that you respond quickly and let us know that you're not available if offered a position that you're not able to accept. What if your plans change after you accept a position and confirm with us? When you receive your confirmation email, it will say this: once you have accepted this position, you are on contract, and you absolutely cannot back out without being considered breaking contract. So at that point, you should consider those dates as set in stone. We're depending on you and relying on you to be there. In most cases, backing out after you confirm with us means we will be unlikely to offer you a position in the future, since dependability is a top priority for us. The dates of your engagement will be listed on the confirmation email. All dates and times represent required attendance for all instructors. No absences, no late arrivals, and no early departures will be permitted. That's a detriment to the safety and well-being of the minor students in our care. It puts a burden on the other members of the teaching team, as well as on the site manager and our leadership. The camp dates and times are shown, as well as the pre-camp meeting and rehearsal day and times. If you're unsure about this, please contact us to ask before you confirm and accept the position. How much is the pay? Instructors in our regular division at our commuter-style camps, so all the camps in Texas during June and July, will be paid $800. If you're teaching at the beginner camp, which starts in July and goes into August, those hours are fewer and the pay is less. If you don't know what camp I'm referring to, it probably means you have not been engaged there. That camp's for beginners who have never ever played their instrument, and it's 2 to 3 hours per day. If you really want to be sure, you can inquire. Regular commuter camp locations for this year are and our beginner camp location is. We also have one residential camp in Virginia. There are many variations of schedule, pay, and hours, so that will be discussed in a separate video. So what will you be teaching at camp? Each instructor will be teaching or otherwise in charge of students throughout the entire camp day, except for the 30-minute lunch break time. Here's a typical weekly schedule. Now I'll go through the classes you'll be teaching or leading. Each instructor in the regular division will lead classes in reed making, chamber music coaching, special topics, and they will coach or assist with large ensemble sectionals and rehearsals. Chamber music. For the chamber music class, each class will be assigned a small ensemble that will be prepared to be performed on the final recital on the very last day of camp. The piece should be 5 minutes or less, and it can be selected from our sheet music library, but it can also be provided by the instructor. Each instructor will coach their group and must conduct their group. To help ensure student confidence, all groups must be conducted by the instructor of that group. We encourage the doubling of parts, as well as the use of any available camp interns or other faculty to reinforce student parts when needed. We strive for a balance between working on a piece that's fun and challenging, yet at the same time realistically attainable in the short 3.5-day time frame. If you're not sure what to do, especially for the youngest players, usually rising 7th graders, err on the side of selecting a more straightforward, more homogeneous piece. Our goal is for these students to be challenged, but above all, to be successful. Reed making. Each teacher will lead a reed making class. Most likely you'll have 8 students in your class, although it could be fewer. Each teacher will teach according to their own reed-making instructions and must provide at least 1 page of written instructions. Text and graphics are encouraged. Do you have to be an expert in reed-making? No. You should have well-thought-out, step-by-step instructions. However, we have a deep appreciation for the fact that every one of us is in our own place in our reed-making journey. Most students have minimal or no experience making reeds, and they're excited to learn what you have to teach them. Explain as much as possible, have them practice skills along the way, and work to ensure that each student knows what they should be doing throughout the class. Do you have to provide materials or tools? No. Every student at camp will have access to certain essential tools through various means. They will either bring the tools they already own, they can pre-order a toolkit ahead of time from us, or they can rent those tools from us for the week. Here are the tools that you can expect each student to have. Some other supplementary tools can be found in our communal tools boxes, and those tools include a limited quantity of these. These communal tools are for sharing and should be brought back to the shared box daily after readmaking class. What materials are provided in terms of cane, staples, and blanks? Each read class will be predefined before the camp starts. The instructor will be handed specific quantities of cane based on the level of the class, as well as the quantity of students in the class. We'll also include one of each item so that you can use it to demonstrate. Here are the class levels and what materials they get per student, as well as the defined educational goals for the week. The cane we are providing is just like last year. It's all fully bark. It's a -1 shape, and it comes from various types of medium density cane processed by the same person as last year, from tube cane that was 10 to 11. The blanks are made from that same cane by the same person who processes the cane. This is the same as last year, but different from 2 years ago. The staples are 47mm brass staples, synthetic cork, and will fit on most mandrels, size 2. As with any oboe staple, there's some variation from staple to staple. The cane we are providing is just like last year. It's Hertzberg shape, medium thickness, so it'll need to be scraped, and some pieces may be pre-scored while some may not be. The blanks we're providing are just like last year, made from the same cane. Expect the bassoon blanks to need to be reamed and tip cut. Just like last year, the site manager will be equipped with additional cane, staples, and blanks located in their possession in the site manager discretionary box. As you get into the week, if you find yourself in a place where it would be helpful to request additional cane, staples, or blanks, you can do that by approaching the site manager. That should not be requested on the first day, but rather as the week goes on, as you find that the need arises. We do require that as a minimum expectation, every piece of cane or blank provided in those minimum quantities should be worked on using all the steps possible. The idea is that they gain as much experience as possible. Explain everything you can. Explain it twice. Let them put their hands on things. Let them make mistakes. Ask questions, and above all, help them understand why you would do something to a read and what the desired outcome is. Read making is a journey, and for many of these students attending our camps, it's the first step on a long road. Special topics. Special topics is a time during the day that can be used in many different ways. This is a time for you to talk about, work on, or demonstrate topics or activities you think would be interesting and helpful to the students you have in your group. You'll select 2 special topics to do. One will be on Tuesday and one will be on Wednesday. We have a list of suggested special topics, but you do not have to limit yourself to those. Some popular examples include vibrato, tenor clef, upper register note fingerings, instrument care and maintenance, how to practice, left F and E flat mapping, basic music theory, demonstration of a contrabassoon or English horn, and much, much more. You must pre-select your topics and tell the site manager what they are on day 0, that's the meeting day. This ensures that the sessions are well thought out and not just thrown together. Large ensemble. The large ensemble is a time when everyone at camp plays a piece all together. Each year we commission an arrangement by Bill Lewis, the principal bassoonist of the Austin Symphony Orchestra. This year the piece is Berlioz' Symphonie Fantastique. Bill writes parts for every level, even the youngest students. all students and faculty and interns will perform on this piece. You will lead a sectional on one of the parts on the first day. For example, you may be leading the Oboe 3 sectional. That means you'll go through the entire piece with the Oboe 3 players. On the second or third day, all the oboes and all the bassoons will come together in 2 larger sectionals. You will either be asked to lead that massive sectional, or if you're not leading it, you'll be sitting in with your section, playing the part that you led the previous day. The last day, you'll put it all together while the site manager runs the last rehearsal with everyone. You'll play at that rehearsal on the same part too, and you'll play on the performance on Thursday. How does lunch work? The lunch break is scheduled for 30 minutes, and while you're welcome to leave campus, it's usually not enough time to go to a restaurant and come back. All staff and students should provide their own lunches since no meals, food, or snacks are provided at our Texas camps. At most locations, staff will have access to a microwave and a refrigerator. However, we encourage you to ask us about this ahead of time since availability does vary from location to location. Ordering a meal for delivery to a school may be tricky due to our proximity to the front office and due to challenges faced by meal drivers in finding the entrance to often complicated school buildings. For safety and security, and in order to be in compliance with district requirements, usually our staff and students will enter and exit the building through the front entrance of the school. To summarize, bring your lunch daily to avoid inconvenience. This concludes our explanation of how to know if you're teaching at a specific camp and some of the basics about our camps. If you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to contact us.